Hello, beautiful friends. It's me, Bobby, coming to you again today with another lesson of the light. And today's lesson is about intuition, our true north. It's Spirit's way of giving us a built-in compass. It points up. Anyway, have you ever ignored a feeling that you have that feels like something that you're thinking about doing, but you don't feel that you should? And then you dismiss it because you think, well, that's my imagination. That can't be real. That can't be anything other than just, something that I don't know. No big deal. So you suppress it. And then something happens when you go ahead with the plan that you knew in the back of your mind was not something that you should have gone forward with. I think we've all been there, yes? You ever think you're doing something for the wrong reasons because you've already invested too much into that idea or into that plan or into that next move? Well, there's a reason that your intuition speaks to you. And it doesn't speak to you in words, but in a feeling. Maybe words, if you see some words that, that on the back of a truck or something, and a large word that says no. It can be as clear as that, or it can be as subtle as just that uncomfortable feeling of thinking, maybe I should think twice about this. So yeah, our intuition is there for a reason, and it's to protect us from ourselves. It's to keep us from harm, to prevent unseen pain, trauma, sometimes heartache. But it's always for our own good. And if we choose to ignore that, well, you have to say that, we haven't been, it wasn't like we haven't been warned. So, for example, let's say that you've invested time in something. I had a trip planned one time for going on vacation to see my family in the mountains. And it was about maybe about a 3.5, probably a 4-hour drive. My mom called that morning and she said, "Bobby, don't come because it's raining really hard." And I said, "Ma, I work for the phone company. I am not going to miss this vacation. I waited too long. I suffered a long time to have 10 days off. And I said, I am not going to put this vacation off. I need it." And she says, "Well, I don't suggest, your dad and I think you shouldn't come." And I said, "Well, I'm coming." And there were some other things too, the voice also, or, the thought process in the back of my mind, but I did it anyway. Halfway up, I got in an accident. It was raining so hard. There was, water about 4 inches on top of the road. And it wasn't a serious injury accident, but it was where when I went to, wasn't going fast, but when I went to slow down, the car kept going. And I ended up sliding into another car. Anyway, I was traumatized, I was nervous, I was shaking, but I wasn't injured. Neither the other driver or myself was. I called my folks and I was just crying, and my dad says, "Honey, don't come up. go back home. I said, Dad, I'm halfway, so I'm going to go ahead and come up. So I did, and the roads washed out behind me. It was raining and raining and raining. We were out of power from the time I got there to the time I left 10 days later. That's when it was an extremely disastrous weather pattern. And they ended up calling it the Great Storm of '86. So that's how you know how bad it was. They were hauling people off of the train that was, couldn't go anywhere because of the snow on the train tracks. And anyway, it was just crazy stuff. So I went against the grain. I went against my own intuition. So then let's talk about don't want to lose your investment of money. That's a big one, huh? Have you made decisions before, possibly, that maybe wasn't quite the right decision because you didn't want to lose your investment of money? Well, remember that cruise that I was telling you about last time? About where I got COVID? Well, I paid the full amount of the cruise. And what they don't tell you is, at least what my travel agent didn't tell me, is that once you pay the full amount, not just the deposit, but if you pay the full amount, you can't cancel it. You can move your money to another time, to another ship or another time, but you cannot get your money back. So, fool that I am, money motivated, I thought, there's no way I'm going to lose that deposit. So even though it didn't feel right, I kept the arrangement anyway. I went on the cruise, got sick, and that was a 15-day Hawaiian Island cruise, like 5 days over, 5 days in port, 5 days back. Well, it happened to be that their excursions were all sold out. All the rental cars were already taken. The Ubers were booked solid. And it was so hot, even to get right off the ship to go into one of the little ports, it was just unbearable. And then the other ports we couldn't get to because we had to have taken an Uber or a taxi or a rental car or been on an excursion. So there you are. Went to Hawaii, didn't get to see Hawaii. So, was that a bad decision? Yeah. Have you made a decision like that? Probably so, but I hope not. And then let's say that you have an investment of love. Let's say that you invest your heart in the wrong person. And you know that you did. You know that you did. You feel it in the back of your mind. Maybe you thought it was love. You told yourself that it was. Maybe you felt some things, like those sour notes that kind of come up in the back of your mind, and you think, you know what? Maybe I should rethink this. But I didn't listen to that inner voice. And I figured, I'm old enough to know better. I made my bed. Now I'm going to sleep in it if it's the last thing I do. Well, to accept my choice or die trying, I almost did, because that relationship almost took my life because I didn't listen. Of all the signs that I had, and I had a lot of them. I mean, Spirit actually pretty much dropped a boulder on my head, and I still didn't listen. So just to save yourself that misery, just to keep yourself from things that can harm you, listen. Like maybe this is a tragic thing, but maybe somebody Maybe you give up your seat on the plane because it was oversold, right? And you think, well, okay, I guess somebody else needs to take this trip more than I do. So you don't go on the plane, or you miss your flight, or you're stuck in traffic and something happens, you know, at the building where you work, or something happens to the plane. I mean, it could be anything. Listen, really, I mean, intently listen with your heart, listen with your soul, listen with your mind. But listen. So if you have one of these kind of stories to share, please share it. Other people need to know. Other people need to know they're not alone in this. And the fact that, you know, we all make mistakes and we're going to continue to make them, but let's hope we don't make the same mistake again and again. So your intuition, that's your compass. That's your guide. That's your true north. Thank you. We'll talk again later. Bye-bye.